Because I'm already late. We're live. Sorry for the lateness there, gang. It's been a day. I'm drinking out of a mason jar. Might start making moonshine soon.
When CJ drinks out of a mason jar, you know that we have a lot of dishes going on. That
I have a camo hat on and I'm drinking out of a mason jar. I'm basically, what's that show that your dad liked?
Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty. That's where I'm living. I'm Duck Dynasty. I'm gonna see if there's a Duck Dynasty filter on here, real quick. That's what we're going with.
That is not.
There it is. No, that's not a Duck Dynasty. I don't know if they have a Duck Dynasty filter.
Why would they? They shouldn't.
I don't know. This one looks like this is terrifying. Look at your teeth on here. This filter looks like "Take on Me."
You say that same joke every time you use it.
Do I?
You do.
All right. I'm just gonna keep changing filters today, just for my own amusement. I like that I just got a notification that Sunday Night Teacher Talk with CJ Reynolds is going live.
Oh.
Like that just popped up on my phone. Good to know. Good to know I'm a subscriber to my own channel. I'm gonna jump right in here and start talking, so we don't waste any time. I'll tell you why, because this side of my face is real big. They can't really tell on here, but it is. It's like I look like Deputy. Who was that dude? Huckleberry, whatever. I don't know. That cartoon character that had like the saggy face, the dog. And I'll get to that in a second. For those of you that don't know, if you are new, if you have just started here, if a friend told you about this, if you somehow magically happened upon this effort that we are doing here, this is called Real Rap with Reynolds. My name is CJ Reynolds. Real Rap means that it's real talk. And every Sunday night, me and my friends get together and we talk about education. Me and some of my not friends get together too, because somebody's going to put a thumbs down on this. We get 2 thumbs down every week, and I don't know who they are. Although I think I know who they are, but
we'll never
just
tell.
know. I'll never tell, but I know who you are, gang. The idea behind this is Sunday night Sunday can be like the most terrifying day of the week because school's tomorrow. And I actually have my first day of school tomorrow. We are starting later than we ever have. Which I think is largely because of technology issues. They make sure that all students had what they needed and stuff like that. But so the idea is when you're afraid, when you don't know what to do, we all come together, and it's like, I don't know, it's like some weird version of the Avengers, and it's me and everyone else get together here on Sundays, and this is what we do. So a couple things before we get started. If you have a question, put it in the question section. If you put a Q or the word question next to it, that really helps. What's going to happen is my helper Edie in Texas is going to help my helper Wife for Life here in New Jersey put these into a Google Doc so I can read them, and then I will answer your questions. Please know this. Nothing's off the table. I think life and teaching intermix all the time. And so we should be talking about all this stuff. There's nothing in education. There's nothing about special education or teaching through while we're living through this really kind of wonderful thing called Black Lives Matter that we're going through. Like nothing's off the table for me. So I'm willing to talk about anything. You can put a question there, but know this. I am not the only one that's going to answer your question. All these people on the side are going to answer your questions as well. Or they might. I mean, it depends. Sometimes chat's moving pretty fast. But there's all these folks that are kind of doing this also. And then that's that. If this is not enough for you, right? Sometimes the world of teaching is harder than a 1 hour show on Sundays. I have a book. It's called Teach Your Class Off. You can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Thank you to the 5 people that bought it on Barnes & Noble. James, I appreciate that James Pete went over there with a couple other dudes and left some reviews because it was looking lonely over there. But you can go on, and if you are skeptical, right, as to whether or not you want to buy it, I dare you to go read the comments, because damn, I mean, the reviews are some of the nicest things I've ever read about myself, and it's something magical. I also offer mentoring services. So if you want, I'll get on the phone with you for an hour. It could be a one-off thing, could be multiple times. All you have to do is go to realrapwithreynolds.com and you can get the mentoring services. Go to teachyourclassoff.com and you can get links to the book. And then there's our Facebook group, Sunday night, or Real Rap With Reynolds Teacher Talk. Look, here's the idea, people. Even if you've been listening to me talk about this for a long time, the idea is to create. And in my dreams, when I have more time in my life, the idea is to create so much stuff that no matter how you're feeling, where you're feeling, how you want to get involved, it all exists right there. So just know that like I'm trying to make this this worldwide thing of like there's so much content out there that like you have to be able to find help somewhere. Real quick, I was talking about this earlier. My face is all puffy on this side. I had to have dental surgery the other day on Friday, and man, it like kicked my butt. Like I hate going to the dentist, but it is part of my idea of like really trying to get things like I want to be at peak optimal health this year before going into school and COVID and all this stuff. Like with all this going on, I'm going to be at the best that I can possibly be at. Brody is signaling the wife to go in the other room.
Eagle game started.
The Eagles are on today?
Yes.
Oh, damn it. We're so behind.
But it's only the pregame.
Okay.
I want to know.
All right.
Can I go to Grayson's and watch it with him?
You're going to go to Grayson's house and watch it with him? With your dad? No, that's cool. It's cool. Go ahead. Do it.
Will you watch it still?
I'll watch it when I'm done.
Okay.
You can go over Grayson's though.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, sorry about that. Eagles are important in our house. Yeah, I had to have like a tooth extracted and all this stuff done. I have stitches in my mouth. It sucks, man. So like I can't talk right. It feels like I'm talking all weird and stuff, even though I'm probably it doesn't sound any different.
I think it sounds like you have like cotton balls stuck in your mouth. Like I can tell a difference. But that's
Well, my
the sign of,
sinus
like-
line was right there too, like where they did it. And so I don't know if that's messing with it also. Plus I had an infection. It was a whole mess. People,
This is just the beginning. CJ has like 3 more. The end of
Major
this
things
month,
to
he
do.
has like 3 more dental appointments. He's got all kinds of stuff.
But let me
At least we're getting it done.
quick note on that, right? Has nothing to do with teaching, but I'm going to talk about this anyway.
Oh,
I think it's fascinating that like the dentist told me, or the endodontist or whatever the hell he was, told me that I had like on both sides I have like severe infections in my gums, and so that has a bearing on my energy level. Which look, I mean, I guess that makes sense
Which
to
makes
me, right?
nervous. Like, what the hell are you gonna do? Like, when all that gets healed and now you have better energy, you're gonna make us do more stuff.
Fire.
Oh my goodness.
Fire. So he goes, oh, your energy's going to go through the roof. Like once these 2 teeth get taken care of, especially on the side, your energy's going to go through the roof. And I'm like, bro, what are you even talking? Like I might, when I had that video, Why Not Become Fire, I might actually become fire. Like I don't know that there's like a filter that makes me look like I'm on fire in here, but that might actually happen. I like us on,
Black and white.
Yeah.
We love black and white though.
Cool. Do you have any questions for me? While you're eating your, what are you eating over there? Peppers and onions and beans and eggs?
Yep.
We're doing the slow carb
Slow
diet
carb
experiment, and it's less than fun. Actually, that thing today, I'm getting used to the kimchi.
There you
Kimchi's
go.
pretty jamming.
It's good. I can't eat it every day.
No, but you know, it smells awful.
All right.
My buddy Rebecca Wood. Here we go. So if my energy level's a little bit lower today, I'm bringing the people. I'm trying here. How do you keep things calm when life is chaotic? Teaching face to face, but spent this weekend evacuated because of a fire on the mountain near our house in Utah. First of all, can I just note that and say that I'm really sorry that that's happening. I have a lot of friends in California that are like, can't even go outside. The smoke is so bad. I saw a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge the other day and it was gnarly. So, I hope and pray that you're okay. And tomorrow I'm teaching, I think it says in the library because they are painting my classroom. Can we just note the fact that they're painting her classroom and like after the beginning of it's like bro, do it on a weekend. I fell all out of sorts and don't want to affect my students. I would say this, look, sometimes when stuff happens, it's like you can't get around it. You can't just have the perfect experience because things are happening, right? And I think that's okay, Rebecca. Like it's all right if things go a little bit aside. Maybe you do something that's not the normal. Maybe you do a lot of breaks or you have some kind of like like there's a game that you play, or you go outside for a bit, or you take a walk, and like I don't know what the restrictions are in your particular state, in your particular school, with regards to like COVID and that sort of thing. But there have been a handful of times that like for whatever reason they wanted to like have we have people come to our school to visit. They'll have them like do snacks and stuff a lot of times in my room because they like the way that my room looks. Which is just ironic because I wasn't allowed to do all the stuff that I did, but then I did it, and now they're like, "Oh, let's have all the visitors in here." So I'll get booted from room sometimes, and I just like think, well, let's just do something different. Like it's just like, there have been times. I'll say this: there have been any number of times when I couldn't come home, and maybe that was because we were having an intervention with a friend. Maybe it was because a friend came over and was having a really difficult time in their life, and my wife was speaking with them, or like our house just became that place. And so I just made fun with it. I didn't try and do dinner the regular way. It was like me and the kids would go to like a local deli or something like that, get some sandwiches, and have like go have a picnic. Or sometimes we have picnic in the car, right? We would go to Taco Bell and like his, as a not so single dad, which is what I call myself when my wife's not around to help me. As a not so single dad, I just we would go, and then we'd all sit and like put all the seats back, like so we have a RAV4, so which is like a small SUV, put the seats down in the back, and just like all sit in a circle, and we would eat dinner together, and it's just kind of hilarious and weird and fun. So I'm thinking, how can you do something that's completely different or slightly different, or just own the difference when you're stuck in the library because you're not in your classroom? And then it's like a special, right? It's like a special episode of your favorite show, right? Next week, tomorrow, whenever it is, we will be back to our regularly scheduled program. But for tonight, there's something special going on. And I think that that's okay. I wouldn't worry about what anyone else thinks or says or whatever, but think about it in regards to that. Like, how could you make this a little bit special? Like, oh, we're learning in the library. Let's do a scavenger hunt, right? Let's like go find a book that starts with this. Find a book that has this picture in it. Find a book that is by this publisher. Find a book that's about this topic. Any kind of thing like that could just be kind of fun. And then you're owning it. You're going on offense instead of defense, and that could really help. Deanna Owens is asking, my district has announced that they do not have enough money to make payroll come December. Oh no. First, like sometimes the questions are, I'm going to answer Deanna's question in just a second, but like, what? Like, bro, someone's whole job is to note finances and have that stuff ready for the year. It's just crazy to me that someone would have to deal with that. Like, it's not like teachers already make enough money, or like
their job is to teach, not to figure out their schools,
all the other stuff. So anyway, December, the district has announced that there might not be enough money that they don't have enough money for payroll come December, and it will have to take out a loan to cover it. This has been an issue for the last 3 years. Thinking of leaving mid-year. Any advice? Concerned that the state will take over, and worried that I won't be able to find a job elsewhere. So I would say this, Deanna. I think I would never stay at a school that I couldn't be sure that I was getting paid. I love my school. I love the students. I love the job. It is 100% missional to me. But I just had a conversation with someone about this the other day. You know what I love more? My family. I have to make sure that my kids can eat, that I can pay my mortgage, that I can pay for the cars that I owe money on, that I can do things with my kids that like, and I'm not even talking about extravagant stuff like, we're not living with gorillas in freaking Congo. We're like, but like if I want to like go out for dinner, or if I want to like go down the shore and someone's like, can we get pizza? It's like, yeah, I can spring, whatever asinine amount of money they charge me for pizza, like $25 for a pie down the shore. Like, but I want to make sure that I can meet those needs and be the dad that I want to be. So if I can't do that at my job because it's not paying enough, I did that before. I did that, and I'm going to throw money out there for a second.
You did that for a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. It
was hard.
The amount of money that I'm about to say might be astronomical for you because of where you live. But when
It's
I
not for
started
where we live.
Yes, when I started teaching in Camden, New Jersey, which is often, it fluctuates, but it's like often the most dangerous and the most poor city in the country in United States. I started with $31,000 a year, right? So I know, like, maybe if you live in Oklahoma or some of these other states that, like, you know, the income is much lower for teachers, like that sounds like a lot, but it is not here, because even back then, what would you say our mortgage was a month?
Oh, it was 15.
$1,500 a month, and I'm making $31,000 a year. And then I did not get paid from June 15th to September 15th. I had to go work 4 jobs in the summer to just make up the difference. So it was this crazy mess of a situation. And there were times when, like, we live across the street from a Chinese food place. I would go over there because we didn't have enough money for groceries, but we had enough money for Chinese food. And then I would just get extra napkins because we ran out of toilet paper. Like that was the life we were really living. Then we had a kid. Then our kid had special needs. Then we had another kid. It was just like, it was too much. And to ask someone to do that, I think, is just too much. So my point being is, if you can find another job, find another job. Here's what you do. You look for a job while you have a job. That's what I would do. Alternatives could be something like, and I've said this before, but you know, it bears repeating. Dada ABC pays about $30 an hour, and you teach kids in China how to speak English, and it's people that sign their kids up, and it's completely scripted. You don't have to plan it or anything like that. My new kind of favorite thing right now is something called OutSchool. I am not affiliated with them at all, but not yet. OutSchool, shout your boy out. But OutSchool is teachers that teach live virtually to students that sign up. So my children are homeschooled. We're talking about using this platform this year because we have friends that really like it. My friend Alex Kajitani, who you can find all over the internet. He's a fantastic human being to follow on the internet. Alex's kids do science. So he does math and English at home with them. They're homeschooled. And then science, they use OutSchool. There's a guy on there that they absolutely love. They said he is bonkers, crazy, awesome on there. You pay money to go on, but I think they pay like $40 an hour to teachers. So it's like, if
the courses look amazing because teachers can use, I've been browsing them for our kids. Anything from like Minecraft, like just your really super creative lessons that you would do, you're getting paid to put them out on OutSchool. And he said the kids like love it. Like they go bonkers. I can't wait to use it this year for our kids.
It's gonna be dope. So I think there's other options out there. What I would do also, real quick, because I want to move on to the next question. Go into our Facebook group, Real Rap with Reynolds Teacher Talk, and on Facebook, and just ask if anyone else knows other ways teachers can make money. I know there's like VIP Kids, but there might be other stuff out there that I am not privy to, because they feel like if you don't need it, you're not looking for it, right? So like right now, like I'm gonna ride my job out, but like, but you know, there might be people in there that have a better answer for that.
What was his Alex Kajitani, the rapping mathematician?
Yeah, Alex Kajitani, the rapping mathematician. I don't know how much stuff he has on YouTube, but like, he's just he is like one of the most legit human beings ever. He was Teacher of the Year in California. He has a really great Obama story. He met Barack and Michelle Obama one time. Okay, next. Jada is asking, I just started as a preschool teacher. Do you know any good resources for behavioral management? My students don't listen and constantly run around, and I'm anxious to get back to school tomorrow. So Jada, not teaching preschool. So look, real quick, anyone, if you're not paying attention, it's like school. Hey, if you're not paying attention, listen real quick. If you teach preschool, what are some of the best practices you have to help your students stay focused on something? My guess would be, or something that I think is probably a common theme throughout teaching, is 2 things, or 3 things rather. Making sure that you're switching activities often, and so like you're not spending too much time on one thing. 2, are we good?
Yep.
He's good? Cool. 2, you are creating engaging stuff for them to do, which I'm sure you are, especially in preschool. And 3, I think there's a real level of confidence that is needed. That like if you ask everyone to be quiet, you're really like honing in on kids that are not being quiet. If you ask everyone to like keep their hands to themselves or to get in line or whatever you're doing, it's what you're not looking for is compliance. You're looking for influence. So how are you influencing young people to help them see the value in what you're doing, and then to actually do it? for the betterment of the group, right? So I think that that's really important too. I think the fourth thing is, look, I think there is not enough times do we actually talk about the fact that like kids are kids. So like and that's because, and I think the reason for that is because sometimes we just say like, they're kids, and then like, no, it's like, no, that's like some evil stuff that they're up to over there, or like that's like not good behavior, or it's rude, or it's whatever, and we just sort of brush it away as like, they're kids. Kids will be kids. It's like they're just drinking in the woods and huffing. It's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But there is a level of which, like, kids' brains are not done developing yet, and so they make like rash decisions and they just do crazy stuff sometimes. So I think that some of that is there too.
Chris Carson said, behavior wise, his daughter teaches preschool, and the best thing is conscious discipline. They have free resources on their website, and Jada, if you need anything, you can reach out with Chris Carson. He said his daughter would love to help you.
Yeah, Chris Carson is an excellent human being ever.
So if you're in the Facebook group, you could connect, because I know he's in there.
Yeah. What do you got? Darren? Me? Darren Me. That's a great name. I like it. Is that two Darrens? Oh, no, it's Deanna. Deanna and Darren. I'm going with all the D's today. I'm a trainee teacher, and I'm nervous about lesson planning. Are there any tips for not over preparing and keeping it simple? So I think, Darren, I think that's the game plan anyway. I think focusing on doing things simply is always the plan. I know that I'll say teachers overcomplicate things a lot, but I think as human beings we overcomplicate things a lot too, right? Want to get muscles? Do pull-ups and push-ups. Want to lose weight? Stop eating shitty food and eat more greens and drink more water. Want to have a better relationship with your children? Ask them about what they're interested in and sit down with them and actually like pay attention and care for them and love them. I think it is things that we're focusing on and not making it like I think teachers think that if they just work themselves to death, then they will do like a better job or something like that. And it's not true. It's sometimes that minimal effective dose that I've been talking about these last few weeks, where like it is finding a pattern of things that work throughout the day, and then you're changing up the pattern, right? So you're not changing up the lesson, but you're finding what works for your students. Here's the number one thing I would tell you to do is two things actually. When you're trying stuff, do not be afraid to fail, but try and fail as quickly as possible. And the reason I say that is because when you wait to fail, when you draw it out, when you hold on to hope, please, I hope this is going to work, I hope this is going to work. It's like being in a bad relationship, right? Like if my wife beat me, that's actually really insensitive. What's another example? Never mind. Because I feel like you're gonna be like, I don't know. Why you ask me?
I know, because I wasn't listening. I'm thinking of something else.
When you sometimes, it's like if you're on a branch that looks like it's gonna break, and you're just hoping while you're hanging from this branch that please, I hope this branch stays together and I don't fall to my death. Dude, switch branches. Like there's no use to staying on there. If you are a DJ at a party and you play a song and it clears the floor, don't sit there and hope that other people are going to show back up on the floor, right, and start dancing to it eventually. Maybe they didn't like Whitesnake. Maybe Journey was a poor decision, right? So change the track. So fail quickly. Don't be afraid of it. It's not a reflection on you. It's trying to figure out who your students are, because even what you did last year might not be a sure shot this year. Something you do this year that is a home run and the kids love it and they're going to remember it forever. You might do it next year and they're like, nah, I don't really like this. So in doing that, that's just what I feel like I would try out. The other thing is pivot. Try to shift things a little bit as you go. And I think pivoting is like not giving up on the whole plan. You try a couple different versions of it. If it doesn't work, just switch it and tell the kids, hey, look, I tried that. I thought this was going to be awesome. It didn't work. Let's switch it up. And I think that's fine. I think that communicates to our students is that we're not afraid to fail, that we're not afraid to try new stuff, that we're not afraid to call it a day when it's not really working. Man, I am on a text chain with my school and they are texting like crazy, which it shows me. Guys, you don't watch my live feed? What you doing? What you doing?
Could you please take the gray off? You're
Yeah, I'm
really
just-
driving people nuts in our
Yeah.
comments. They're like, why is it gray? What's wrong with my TV?
There we go. We'll do bubbles for a second.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, we can't do bubbles.
You can do bubbles.
I got bubble ones. If you want one, you can go on the Facebook group and buy one. Because they're not available on the website yet. I don't know why. I think somebody.
Shush.
All right. What do you got? Laura Green. Laura. My mom's maiden name was Green, and actually Green Street in Philadelphia is named after our family. And some people think that's a lie, but I don't think it is.
It's a great last name.
Is there an audio version for Teacher Class Off? There is not an audio version yet. But let me tell you my dream for the future.
Let's give a little like a different direction. Y'all should just DM DBC Books and say you want an audio version of Teacher Class Off. If you're interested in, that is what you should be doing, because that's really not our decision. Apparently it's a money issue. Like, not money, it just costs a lot of money. So the book has to be popular enough. So we need to, like, there's either two ways. Make the book more popular and they'll actually just give it to us, or ask DBC for it.
Damn it, that's a good answer.
Oh, I'm brilliant. Sometimes.
That's how we got the cover, right? Like, I wanted this. The guy that did my cover for my book is named Alois McElwain. He goes by Cultures and Clothing on Instagram. He is a fantastic Instagram account to follow. I mean, just the greatest. And when I wanted him to do the cover for my book, I had a whole bunch of people just DM him, and then he hit me up. He's like, bro, I don't know who you are, but I'm getting all these crazy DMs. So, yeah. I don't have an audiobook yet because that's because of the publisher. And I'm not throwing shade at the publisher. I'm just saying, like, it's because, like, it has to reach, like, a certain amount of money, or there has to be, like, some incentive on their end, right? It's a business thing. So if you DM DBC on Twitter, send him a message, or on Instagram, tell them that you want an audiobook made for Teacher Class Off. I'm happy to do it. Like, I'm happy to read it and put in all the work, and apparently it's really hard.
Lisa
but
Tobin's on here.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to do it. Lisa Tobin, she's another person. If you want to, like, I don't know, just be happy about life, you should go hang with Lisa Tobin on Instagram. Did you see her eating lunch with her kids the other day?
I did.
It was great. I'm going to use this filter now. I don't know what it is. It's called Beam. I don't know. I felt like laser beams would come out or something.
Okay, come on.
All right, anyway, what do you got? James Pete. This year, my buddy, first of all, this is my buddy, Mr. James Pete. This year, for guided reading instruction, we aren't allowed to use paperback books. We have to quarantine the books. It doesn't feel good to laugh. We have to quarantine the books. I kid you not. So my question is, how creative would you get with books in the kids' hands? And by creative, I mean, really creative, borderline. Oh, I was reading on the bottom. Borderline, get in trouble creative. I mean, kids need to have books. I need them to have. So that's a great question.
I need my kids to have books.
So James, first of all, I would do like what the hell is it called? Donors choose, right? Put your books on there. See if that happens. See if somebody out there in the world like wants to do that. The second thing I would do, gosh, if I need it. So we're giving our kids books. I'm not sure we want those back. I'm not really sure how the science of all this, pandemic-y stuff works.
They need like 3 days to sit with nothing, and then they're good.
What if kids are extra gross, though?
Still 3 days. The germs they die eventually.
I think also, depending on what books you're reading, there's a lot of stuff that's available for like as a PDF online. So like depending on how old the book is you're reading. But if it's like newer independent reading books, I would say for us, the Philadelphia Library is doing like free, like anyone, like teachers can all access books from there. So I think that
he said they can't give them any kind of books, just internet books.
Which sucks too, because what kid wants to read on a laptop? Like reading on a Kindle is one thing, but like
reading an audiobook, like so a lot of libraries, like if you're in a district, I wonder if like they would all be at the same public library.
Audiobooks have value, but there is a different value unless you're dyslexic or something along those lines.
No, I get it, but I'm asking like because you have to have workarounds. It's pandemic teaching, so it's like maybe this is the best it can get. I have no idea.
I don't know what your situation is, like where you live necessarily, like what that community looks like, but even in our tiny town library, I like when I point at things like people know where the hell it is.
It's
like
over
I'm
that
pointing
way.
the library right over there, you know. They are doing, like, my wife got a book for our kids that she's gonna read, and what'd you do? Call up?
Yeah.
You just call
It's like
up,
curbside pickup.
and then they curbside pick up that situation, like you're at Chick-fil-A. They just bring it out to your car.
They also have
and they drop it
audio,
off.
like Hoopla, right? Is their thing. So I'm
Hoopla.
just wondering if like other kids in his school can use something like that. But
So
that's hard to
let's
coordinate.
do this. Does any, if even, okay, again, if you're not paying attention, ready? We'll do it like we're in class. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. If you know a way that Mr. James Pete, that's the name of the person that asking this question, it can get the books in the hands of his students, how best could he do that? I think Donors Choose is a good move because I think, or Teachers Help Teachers, because Donors Choose, they have to stay in your classroom. Teachers Help Teachers, they just go right to your, like, you keep them and you can take them to any class for the rest of your life that you go to. See if you can do something like that. Like, if anyone on here knows an answer, that would be a really good move to do. And to your question, dude, I'm never afraid to break rules. And I don't mean to sound like some kind of like rebel badass, like I'm Sam Elliott, like, I'd do anything for my kids. But really, like, I would, like, I wouldn't get fired. I wouldn't take, I don't know that I would take school books and go hand them out because it's technically they belong to the state or something like that, or the school. But, yeah, like if I could get a handful of books donated or something like that, and I could go drop them off at kids' houses or mail them to them or get money on Amazon to ship them to them, I'd 100% do that stuff.
Someone in the comment section said, and I don't want to read everyone's name in case they don't
go
want
for
their name read. She said, a fellow teacher of mine took her paperbacks apart and laminated each page. Oh, that's crazy.
Gosh, it's so much work.
Hashtag crazy times.
Hashtag save the turtles. No, that's a great idea.
It's kind of whatever you have to. It's just nuts. Some
Yeah,
of the rules
because
are
look,
nuts.
we read certain things as a play. Like, we read certain parts of Lord of the Flies as a play, and I can't do that this year.
Yeah.
Because I don't have copies for everyone. And, like, what am I going to do? Get a 250
Laminate all the pages. That's a sin.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, it looks like everybody's reading off a Denny's menu. NR is asking, what are some incentives that you give your students? So, have some. I've been thinking about this year. Incentives that I could create in my classroom. In school, I do, like when we're actually in person, we do cereal days, what is my favorite incentive of all time. And if you've not read my book, Teach Your Class Off, available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Target, apparently. So I bring in cereal for classes, and it has to be cereal with the least nutritional value. Look, let's be honest, people. All cereal's bad. I don't care if it's kashi or not. It's all processed food, and none of it's good for you. If you're eating it, you should just get rid of that crap right now. Plus, dairy, unless you're a baby, is not good for you. That's a whole nother thing. Not getting into it right now. But Reese Puffs are, let's be honest, they're delicious. It is a magical world where we somehow mix chocolate and peanut butter together. It's crispy, it's crunchy, holds up against the milk for a long time. It's delicious. Cocoa Pebbles, Fruit Loops, right? This is a day where we don't care about red food dye. This is a day where we don't care about any number of things, like health. It has to be cereal with the least nutritional value, and you bring that into your kids, and I'm telling you, you will form a bond with them unlike anything else. You can't bring in chips or popcorn or pizza or anything else that's going to form a bond like that will. A close second is Top Ramen Day, because those Johns are 6 for $1, and that is just, and all you need is some hot water and forks. So that's another thing that we do in class, because like we have the water cooler in school that has like the blue spout and the red spout, and you just get some of that red spout in there, and it's magic. Is Bro really going to Nate?
Yeah, Jen's picking up.
He's going to watch the Eagles game without me. So in school, I also do like, it's not even really an incentive, but I just eat lunch with my kids all the time. Sometimes after school, we just like hang out. So like, I feel like I don't always need incentives because it's just like hanging out. So I also, last year, my wife bought me like the old school Atari 5600 gaming system that just has like a thing, like a HDMI cord. I plug it right into my Promethean board, and we play like old school video games in my classroom and stuff. Or we downloaded the app for Fruit Ninja, which playing Fruit Ninja on a big ass TV is fun as hell, man. It's like, it's bad. Those are some of the things that I do. This year, having done things the way that we're doing things, I plan on doing like incentives for some classes where like there's gonna be a private Zoom, and I'm thinking about doing movies on Friday nights. So like if your class rocks, like right now, one of the movies I really want to see is Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is because I grew up in Bill and Ted, but it's like $24 to rent or $30 to buy. So that's a pretty hefty cost, but I don't want to watch a movie that anyone can watch on Netflix. I want to watch something that's new that came out. Like, so if my kids were younger, Mulan might be a really good one, which is the same thing, right? It's expensive right now, but which I guess I get because they're trying to recoup their money. But if on a Friday night it was like, yo, it's movies with Reynolds on Friday nights. If you did a really great job this week, you can opt into that. I'm going to pay for this movie. You get the Zoom link. I'll share my screen. I'm not sure if that's legal, actually, but whatever. But it's like, we'll all watch this movie together. Could just be a really fun idea to do. I've also been thinking about, we get like, I think I get like $100 or something for incentives, which I don't even know why, but like we got $100 in incentives to send kids books. So I've been thinking about, I don't even tell you about this and you're not paying attention anyway. I'll talk to you about it later. It's sending kids weird crap in the mail from Amazon. Like if you did a really great job, I'll be like, bro, whoever does the best job on the vocab test this week, you get a gorilla arm, and then you can bother your brother and sister with it and like eat with it and do weird stuff. I have this whole box back here of weird stuff. Last year, my friend Cho used to eat with chopsticks all the time because she's Korean, and so like it was just like traditional for her. And I'm really terrible at eating with chopsticks, and so I bought chopsticks that had little hands at the bottom of them, and I would eat with those, and it used to make her so mad. And it's my buddy, so I can do it, right? I wouldn't just do this to some random person I work with or something like that. So I'm thinking about, like, if someone does a great job, I will ship you something that is completely ridiculous, like my little hands that I use or stuff like that.
People are also doing that with, I think you can do that sort of thing with like for cookies and cupcakes and like.
Dude, I love.
There's all kinds of things.
Shivy. So one of my friends, another really great person to follow on Instagram, someone called Call Me Shivy, my buddy Alfred, and so Shivy does this thing where he's partnered with Papa John's, and he sends kids pizzas. Like kids that need food that are like that their families are having a really hard time financially right now, he will just like send them a dinner from Papa John's like on the house, and that's something I'd love to be able to do. So Papa John's, if you're watching this, holler at your boy, because I'd love to, what if me and my community could just give pizzas out to kids? That'd be awesome too. Regan Sharma, that I have never heard Regan as a first name. Fantastic, love it. Regan is asking, how do you handle students who cheat? I found 2 near identical essays yesterday and don't know how to deal with it without damaging the relationship with them. Regan, here's the thing about damaging relationships with students over anything, right? You tell that kid that I care more about you than I care about anything else. Then I care about how you feel about me, how you're going to react to this, how you're going to take this, because it is what I'm here to do. My whole goal in life is to make you get the dream, like live the life you've always wanted to live. Live the dream, live the fantasy, have those things actually happen in your life. And I know that if you're cheating, it's not going to happen. So if you think of it like a coach, if you were someone's fitness coach and you found out that before they came in to work out with you, you saw them shoving Twinkies in their face in the car, you know that it's not good. You got to call them out on it. And what you'll see is that you will become, hopefully, someone that learns how to have difficult conversations with students, that students really care, that they know you're going to be real, that they know you're going to be confident, that you know that even if it is uncomfortable and weird and you will fly in the face of danger, you will always do what's right for kids because you care so much. Now look, there's a funny line here, right? Because you don't want to be the Chris Brown, Rihanna, I punched you in the eye, but girl, I love you so much kind of scenario, right? Because that's a whole nother way where you're trying to like backpedal because you want to seem like show you love after you did something hurtful. Dude, let me talk to you about something real quick. This is my conversation. Let me talk to you about something real quick. I got these two essays and they look damn similar. Now, look, you might be clairvoyant and maybe you were reading the minds of someone else in class, and you did this. But my guess is you cheated. So let's talk about cheating and why it's wrong. Cheating's wrong because I'm here to help you grow into the person that you dream of becoming. And right now, you're trying to take a shortcut, and there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in life. It takes hard work. So one of the things that we're going to do right now is we're going to learn from this. Now, you can either, I might go two different ways, depends on the kid. You got a 0 on that assignment, and now you're gonna have to climb out of that hole. And you might be mad at me. Your mom might be mad. You might hate me. You might think that we were cooler than that. But let me tell you how cool we are. We're so cool. I'm cooler than any friend you've ever had or any one mentor that you've ever had in your life because I'm willing to call you on your stuff. You know why? Because you matter to me. Your success matters to me. And I know that if you do 5 sit-ups instead of 10, you're not going to get abs. And if abs are your goal, then I'm going to push you on that thing. I know that if you're cheating on your girlfriend, I'm going to call you out on it, bro. I'm going to call you out on anything because I care about you because you matter. You matter that much to me. Or I'm going to say, so now here's what you're going to do. You have 3 days. And in 3 days, I want that essay back, and it has to be 100% your work. And if I ever catch you doing that again, this is what you need to know, because this is what my mom used to tell me. I trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. Then that trust is gone, and it's a long haul back. And you don't want to lose me as someone that you care about. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean I don't care about you like with all my heart still, right? I do. You are fantastic. Your behavior is not. We need to switch the behavior, learn from our mistake, fix it now, and go forward. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what that conversation would look like. It's heavy, deep, and real with no excuses. That's my answer for that one. Chris Chung is asking, hey, Reynolds, first of all, what's up, Chris Chung? I hope you're doing well, buddy. This is my 3rd year in a row teaching. Some of my students and I'm struggling to get them to do work in the past. How do I make a new start with them? Wait.
It's the 3rd year in a row teaching the same students.
Oh, okay. So
some of my students.
I'm having this year too. I have dudes that are come back for the 3rd time in 9th grade. I'm not really even sure how that's possible, but it's happening. I think, Chris, look, you have to approach those kids like they're not like everyone else. So here's how I roll with kids that even get left back, because getting left back is always embarrassing. And if you have something 3 times in a row, bro, come on. Like, we have to have a heavy, deep, and real, right? This is what my friend Sarah calls it, is heavy, deep, and real. That conversation usually looks like me running through my first day. I identify who's in the class that is already getting left back. And so I'll do the same thing this year, but I'll do a Zoom breakout. But usually I hold those kids back and I go, yo, you, and you just stay back. Or I'll walk around and put Post-it notes on people's desks. Yo, if you got a Post-it note, put on your desk during the period. I need you to hold back for a second. I just need to speak with you. You're not in trouble, but I want to have a conversation with you. Then I get those dudes and I go, look, let's keep it real. You failed last year because you didn't do the work, or because something got in your way and it was more powerful than you imagined, right? And sometimes that's something that's in your control. Sometimes it's something that's out of your control, right? Maybe you lost a friend. Maybe someone was in jail. Maybe you got in trouble with the law. Something happened, right? And now you are where you are. There's 2 ways to operate with this. One, you can complain about it and bitch and moan and say, I shouldn't be here. This is unfair, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to get you anywhere. Or you can actually do work. Here's what you need to know, is that I am willing to do anything to help you find success. And I think you forget that sometimes, because what you're looking at is my kindness and you're mistaking it for weakness. Or you're looking at the fact that I try to that I am like this with you right now, and you feel some type of way, but you got to know that it is all love, that I only want you to succeed. Why the hell would I want you in the same class again, bro? I have all the same jokes every year. It makes it not even fun anymore, because now I know that you're going to be like, I heard this joke before, bro, because you were already in this class. So how can we figure out a way for you to do great this year? This is your homework assignment. Everyone else got something else. This is what you need to come with me tomorrow. I need a list of at least 10 things that we can do together to help you find success this year. And I don't care if that one thing is that you don't have breakfast every day, right? Tell me maybe you had breakfast. Maybe mom made you breakfast, but you're still real hungry when you come in the class. Maybe you need a break every once in a while. Maybe you want to sit at my desk. Maybe you want to sit on the floor. Maybe I like go over things too fast, or I talk too quickly because I know that I talk fast. You need to let me know what I can do, and I will ride for you so hard this year that it will be impossible for you to fail if you just show up and show me you're willing, right? Just get your ass here and show me you're willing, and I'll do anything, right? Do you understand what I'm talking about? And don't just say yeah, because I'm not here to play games with you, right? That sort of conversation for me, and look, you can do it with a smile on your face and stuff. I get serious when I do it. Plus, like I told you, I had dental work, and it's it's real. It hurts. That I feel like when I have those kinds of conversations with kids, it's just something that students aren't used to, right? So I would say this is the last thing about that, Chris. I think students are so used to not having real conversations with adults unless that adult is trying to school them on something, is trying to teach them something, is trying to coach them through something, but like in a way that has the adult here and the kid here. What you need to do is be on the level of your students and treat them like real human beings, like they actually are people and not just like minions. And I'm not saying you do that, but like it does happen a lot. And if I remember growing up, it was like the adults that actually took the time that to listen, to care. Like my mom, I was just thinking about this about my mom recently, and my mom passed when I was just turned 22 years old. But there were times when like I would come home and like my mom and my friends would just be like my mom would my friends would come over and just chill and like smoke cigarettes with my mom and like and I think that's a poor parental decision probably, but like they would just sit around, and the fact that like they even like my mom smoked cigarettes, she would let my friends smoke cigarettes because she wanted them to be who they were, right?
Well, I was gonna say she
like,
let people.
It wasn't
smoke
like
cigarettes.
she was like
didn't encourage us to smoke cigarettes.
She wasn't like, hey, want a cigarette?
Smoker, she allowed you to have a cigarette.
But it was
in front
that
of her. She did. She was
ability
awesome.
to let you be who you are. And so when I have those moments with kids and I'm talking to them, other teachers get pissed off. But like if a kid comes in and they're like, yo, Reynolds, I gotta talk to you. My life is just effed, right? I don't go, hey, can you watch your language real quick? I go, bro, you gotta come talk to me about this, right? Like use the language you need to use to express the person that you are and the feelings that you're feeling. And then like if you say that in public, or if you say it like in a place that's not like our classroom, that's different. But it's about allowing kids to show up, because I don't think any kid really wants to fail. I think most kids just don't have a reason to succeed. They just don't know what the hell to do with it, or no one's ever done it before, or I can't do this, or I suck, or like, I'm in the third class again for the same damn time. Like, I must be stupid. And it's like assuring kids that they're not, but figuring out a way for them to scale and to win anyway. What do you got? Chris is asking. Chris.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was ahead of myself.
Can you click the thing so it goes up top? Chris Brocky? We're gonna go with Brocky. I like that last name. It looks cool. Anyway, I don't know why I comment on people's names so much. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mr. Reynolds, I'm a new teacher and I have to move out of the country for my job. I like my school, but I'm really missing my friends and family. Do you have any advice on how to cope with that? So I do, Chris. That's a really tough thing. When my wife and the first time I ever taught, I taught in Zambia in South Central Africa in a village that was the most middle of the nowhere that I've ever been in my life. It was like I felt like John Wick 3 when he was just walking through the desert and he shows up at that tent. That's kind of like what my life felt like there, and it was really difficult. But I think when I'm in situations like that, I've gotten better at dealing with those things, because I look for other people to connect with, right? And I remember that I'm building stories, I'm building life experiences, and that this isn't probably going to last the rest of my life. So we were only there for 3 months, but it felt like we were there for 3 years. And I'll say that the thing that made the biggest difference to me was a couple of things. One, it was sometimes connecting with our neighbors. We had this Ruth, and I forget his name, that lived next door. Dude, they changed our experience there.
They did.
They were so wonderful.
Because we were so young and they were much older than us at the time. Yeah. I feel like it was like a surrogate mom, and dad.
But the reason they thrived was they made themselves a part of the community. They had people coming over. They had people
Yes.
coming over for dinner. They would bake cakes and deliver them to people. They became a useful part of the community, not just like, so it wouldn't just be you in the classroom, but like, can you have people over for tea? Can you have people over for coffee or for a drink or for a meal or for some, like,
Dessert.
if you're from America, like we had a night where we had kids over from my school for spaghetti, and it was the worst spaghetti ever. It was like at like the African corner store's version of what they thought spaghetti was, which was awful. And we didn't even have tomato sauce. Remember, I think they ate it with like garlic and butter or something like that. And even the butter was
butter.
yeah, but even I feel like the butter was gnarly too.
I don't remember.
They loved it. So I think when dealing with that stuff, it's finding a place to communicate how you're thinking and feeling, whether that's journaling, whether it's vlogging, whether that's calling and talking to someone, Skyping with someone. But you know, that's one thing. I think another part is really becoming a part of the community, because look, here's what brings people together. Right now, potentially you are living somewhere where you're not having a lot of shared experience with people. And when you have shared experience, whether that's shared hardship or shared wins with someone, there is a connection with you forever, which is why people that go and do like Outward Bound together are linked for life. People that take care of, like when my mom was sick and dying, my aunt and my uncle were like my ride or die, especially my aunt was like my ride or die. Like in the middle of the night, if my mom had a seizure and I had to call someone, my aunt would drop everything and come right over. That built a closeness to us that even if I'm busy with life and I don't see my aunt for months, when I see her, the connection, the love is right there. You can build those connections with people that you're with now, and that connection will be there for life. You can't force it, but you have to create opportunities for things to happen and for connection to begin. And that's the same thing with students. We clear space so that things can happen. We don't have to make everyone, like, you don't have to make someone fall in love. Like, if you want to fall in love with someone, right? If you want to marry someone, like, you can show up the spaces where someone might be. You go to a party, you go to a bar, you go to you go online and swipe left or right or whatever the hell young people do these days, which makes me sound like an old dude. But like, create opportunity for connection to happen, and it will happen. That's my thought. Dress to Read. What a great name. We can't have books in, oh man, you need to talk to James P. We can't have books in our class. We can't have books in our classes. How do we monitor their phones? I felt bad when the assistant principal came into my class the other day and kids were on their phones to read, but she caught one not doing work. I would say this. Look.
Oh, they were on their phones to read.
Yeah, so they were like probably reading something on their phone, and then they were up to something else.
Yeah, what student would actually read when you give them access to their phone? I'd be like,
I've done it before, right? So like, oh yeah, I used to let Kev listen to audiobooks all the time. And it was that thing, like, I trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you, right? Or some kids would read like certain like manga on their phones or anime on their phones, which is somehow the same thing, but I don't really know the difference. Or they would look at like read an article on their phone or a blog, and I was fine with that. I think it's more of a conversation with the student. I think, remember this. Like, I'm trying to think of a way to, like, because I don't really care. Like, if a teacher comes into my room, as long as we're not like doing something gnarly, like a kid doesn't say something real out of pocket. So like when we do, because of my hip hop class, which I teach a class called the History of Hip Hop, and every Friday we have ciphers. Every once in a while in a cipher, someone will say something that's just like, bro, like, yo, Cardi B, like, you got chill with that stuff. It's, even if it's implied, even if it wasn't the word. So like if you heard like the I don't know what people are calling it. Is it the WAP song, or is it like WAP, whatever? WAP. If you even listen to the censored version of that, bro, it's like, yo, you don't listen to that with your grandmom in the car. Like, that's some like on the low stuff. Kids would say stuff, and that would make me feel some type of way. But what I do is always follow up. I think there's two things you can do here. One, just remember the fact that a lot of times the people that come in to coach you, they weren't that good anyway. Like, they didn't have everything on lock. Like, they didn't own everything. I've worked with tons of people. I remember once working with someone that was a higher up, and I'm not going to say which school it even was, but working with someone that was a higher up in my school, no longer works there. I don't work with them at all, so no one's going to figure out who it is. they had to teach a class. We were short a teacher and they had to teach something. And I remember going into the room one time, like it was in this enormous room, and I was like working in the corner, which is where I hid every day and did my work. They had zero control over the class. I mean, to a laughable degree where it was like, what the hell is happening right now? So sometimes people front like they got stuff on lock, but they're full of crap, man. They don't have stuff on lock. The second thing I would do is whenever that happens, so the people that I do trust, like my guy Witter used to come in, he was the director of curriculum, really trusted him, knew him for a long time, or everyone, that's watched my channel for a while knows my buddy Cho. If she would come in and she'd be like, Reynolds, yo, what the hell was that? I would talk to them about it and say, look, this is a real problem I'm running into. Like, I'm trusting kids to be on their phones. I can't police their phones. There's no software that's going to let me read their phones unless I'm friggin' Big Brother. So, like, what do you suggest I do? But like, not in a nasty or sarcastic way, actually asking them. So it might be good to follow up and say, hey, I know you caught a kid the other day, like looking at something on their phone. You've been in the game for a while. What would you suggest I do without having to just walk around and look? Because kids all know that you're walking around and that you're looking and what you're looking for, like, because they get all jumpy and stuff.
Well, all it takes is a quick Amazon order for like that screen. You can get a screen protector that nobody can look and see what's on your phone unless you're literally dead on in front of it. Like, so what if kids have that on their phone? I mean, there's all kinds of variables that you can't control when they're on their personal phone.
I think the bottom line is you can
Shouldn't be
lead a horse to water. You cannot make it drink. I can make some lessons as engaging as possible, as crazy as possible, as wonderful as possible. Some kids just aren't going to do it, right? And they're going to be sneaky, so I don't even know that they're not doing, like they figure out a way to cheat. And it's not like it takes too much time and effort to figure out cheaters sometimes, where it's like, you're not going to win in life. You're just not. You're not going to cheat on this assignment or get through the class or get through the year or get through high school and then still win because you never learned how to learn. It's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And I'm not saying those kids won't win in life at all, right? But I'm just saying they're not setting themselves up for success. I got through high school doing basically no work, and it kicked me in my ass. When I got to community college, I didn't know how to learn. I didn't know how to take notes. I didn't know how to ask questions. I didn't know how to annotate anything. I couldn't read more than like 2 pages at a time without falling asleep. Like, I lost because of that. Like, it took me longer to get through college because I didn't have the skills. So it's like, I say do what you can do, but I would go and ask that individual that noticed it, and like, then you're on offense. You're not worried about what they're thinking. You're going and asking them the question of how they would deal with it. My buddy Summer Tate is asking, teaching remote, and I'm concerned about students who are not keeping up with their assignments. I have set daily and weekly goals, emailed reminders to students and families. What else can I do? Summer, I think that sometimes the best way for students to learn is to fail. And I think that is to fail hard. That if you are... It's kind of like kids are picking a fight with someone that they think they're going to win with, and then they get, knocked out. I think, but when they fail, so I have two ideas here. When they fail, it's about having an honest conversation of why this happened, and then what are we going to do to win now, right? So like if you are in a boxing match and you lose, hopefully if you have a good coach, they're not just going to tell you everything you did that was wrong. They're not just going to trash talk you and tell you you're nothing or you're a piece of crap or whatever. They're going to say, okay, we're going to watch the film. We're going to learn what we did wrong or what we did right. And then we're going to double down on the things we did right. And we're going to try and incrementally figure out what we did wrong to help you win. I don't think kids know how to win all the time. I think kids right now, in the midst of all of this virtual learning, are trying to figure out ways to not have to do work. And so if they lose, they lose. But it's about figuring out later or helping them to start to win when they want to win. The other thing you could do, and I might have this on my website. If you go to realrapwithreynolds.com on the resources section, there is a weekly tracker. And sometimes I do this with kids where...
That is not on there.
It's not on there?
A weekly tracker?
Yeah.
No.
Summer, you can email me and I'll email you my tracker. But what it is like it's a form, and you can make a digital form if you want, like, but I can just give you like my PDF version. It is something that I do every Friday that kids have to put on there like their name, what they liked this week, what didn't go well this week, how they felt about the week, but then also forces them to look at their grade in the grade book, to put that grade in there, and then to write down any assignments that they did not do. And then the kids that are not passing have to take that home and they have to get it signed, and then the parents have to bring it back from their parents, and this is for a grade. So that every week your parents are aware of where your grade is. So it's not just in Power School, or it's not just on Schoology, or it's not just a reflection of Google Classroom, but it's actually like, here's my actual grade in your face right now with everything handed in. I have a 65. And these are the 3 things that I didn't do this week. Then that lets parents know what's going on. And it stops you from having to call 97 parents every Friday to let them know what the grade is. And I've had some real success with that. If a kid is handing those in and they didn't really give them, if they're forging it or something like that, when we have parent conferences once a trimester, so we have trimesters at our school, once a trimester, and they come in, I go, well, what do you mean you didn't know your child was failing? I have all these signed documents from you saying that, like, they brought this home, and that brings the conversation home too. So it does end somewhere. The other thing I would do is communicate with your other teachers that are teaching that child, see who's winning, like what classes are they doing well in, what classes are they not doing well in, and then have a conversation as a community to figure out an action plan for that student. Don't feel like you should be doing it yourself. You should be doing it with like your whole grade level team. Anyone that's involved with that kid should be involved with that conversation you're figuring out together.
I think you're gonna have a lot of emails about that.
For the tracker, John?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Note to self, put it on the website. This one.
Annalisa Green? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But Anna is asking, do you have your school email linked to your phone? I'm struggling keeping up with online questions and in class and having a home life. Yeah, so I do have it linked to my phone, but I don't have push notifications for email for school. I only have push notifications, and I'm not even sure I pulled this off. For Real Rap with Reynolds, I get push notifications, but then at night, I just don't even look at my phone. So like the way that I do it is when I get up early in the morning, I never look at my phone. When I'm having coffee with my wife, my phone, I have the moon off on my iPhone because I want, like, if an emergency happened or something like that, I want to be able to know. But I just turn my phone over and I have the screen facing down. And then I never look at emails unless it's on school time, unless I want to, right? So if I feel like there's a particular parent I want to reach out to, there's something going on that's happening, I want to be able to reach out to that parent, that's fine because it's of my own volition, but I'm never having email happening to me, because sometimes even those emails, you'll get them and it's like in the subject line, somebody's flaming mad, and you were like sitting there playing a game with your kids or watching a movie or having a glass of wine. You see that subject line, you're like, oh, like you just know what awaits you, and you don't want to have to deal with that. So that's how I deal with that. I allocate my time in such a way that I only do things during that time. So school emails are happening right now. Our school has a 48-hour, which I think is professional, 48-hour return policy. One of the things you can do is set up an autoresponder and let parents know, hey, thank you so much for anyone to get. Thank you so much for emailing me. Per our school policy, I have 48 hours to respond, and I will give you my full time and attention when I can do that, or whatever, is a good way, and that's what I would do. NR is asking, second question, while it's been stressful, wait, what?
Never mind, go ahead.
While it's been stressful for many teachers, has the pandemic had a sort of positive impact on you as a teacher in the classroom, workload-wise, etc.? What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at my own jokes. I'm laughing at something. I'll share a joke with Edie later and she'll get it.
Okay. I am... we can only do a couple more because my face is starting to really
and
hurt.
we're past.
For those of you that don't, I had dental surgery the other day, and so my face is like all... Like I have like this line, and my face is all puffy right here, and it's starting to hurt. I would say... Yes. I really like all the extra time that I've had with my family. I think that this year is going to allow me, although it's stressing me out already because I start tomorrow, it's going to allow me to get through a lot of stuff faster with regards to curriculum and content, because I'm going to trim the fat. Like, I don't plan on reading like, and I don't know who's watching this right now, but like I don't plan on reading whole books, because my boys just don't read on their own. They just don't do it. And as much as I want to push and I want to try and I want to coerce them and try and get them to read Lord of the Flies on their own, there's a lot of flowery language in there, and flowery language loses my students. So if they've never read a book in their whole life, what I want to do is try and get them closer and closer and closer to that goal. And so for me, it's like chunking things up this year. It's using secondary text. It's using videos interspersed with things so that we're trying to make it as interesting as possible. But I think like the focus that I've been able to give on quarantine to new ideas, to new ways of thinking and doing stuff has been great. And without a doubt, it has been the extra time with my family and with my kids that has been like undeniable and just the most magical thing that I ever in the time of such great need, like, has been just so wonderful. I really honestly have no idea what my dog's going to do when we all end up going back to work and school at some point. Like,
he's gonna need to go on depression medication.
He is. Like, we're home all, like, he's by me he's like living right here next to me, and when I get up after this, I will walk in the other room and he will follow me there and do whatever I do, and up and down the stairs and in the backyard and turn on. Yeah. So it's that has been something that I've loved, and it's helped me trim the fat with a lot of things, with friends and a lot of other things that were like time sucks that I didn't want to give my time to. I'm trying to be very, very intentional about my time this year. You have one more?
Yeah, but oh gosh, I'm really sorry. We're gonna skip and go to that person.
Question. This is Chris Carson's daughter.
That's why we're gonna jump to her.
How would you handle working and going back to school yourself? How would you handle working and going back to school yourself?
So if you're working full time and you have to go back to school as well, like, I guess if she's a teacher,
yeah,
but she's also going back to school, like, how do you handle that balance?
All right. So right now, Chris Carson's daughter.
She has a name. It's not Chris Carson's daughter. It's Heather.
Heather, aka Chris Carson's daughter. Heather, I would say. Let me just say first how much I love that Heather is even on here.
Yeah.
I hope she and her dad are. I hope she and her dad are like sitting together watching this. It would be fantastic. So right now I am. Let me give you, like, because not most people know like what my actual life looks like. I run Real Rap with Reynolds. I am working with several companies right now, so like that are very, very time sensitive. So I'm like working with Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. I just did a deal with Verizon that I'm working with. I have a deal with Adobe coming up that I'm working with. Like, and I'm not just trying to like shout this out, right? But like just to have an idea of like what my life looks like.
And you're doing it.
I have 2 kids, one with a lot of special needs that I need to do a lot of stuff with. I'm doing a leadership program through my church. That is like a graduate level class that I'm working on, that I have assignments every week and I have a meeting every week for like a class every week with them and stuff. Plus I'm teaching online, and I've never done that really before. Like, I did it last year, but that was like, let's get this broken ship to the shore and land it and then like pass out on the beach. And now this year I'm actually supposed to like produce results. And in the midst of all that, there's just like regular life stuff. Like, things need to be fixed around my house. Like, I have to figure out how to hook up my friggin' dishwasher and like all this other stuff I have to do. I find that what I do is this year is about purging for me. It's really looking at the things in my life that we all know that there are people in your life that take up your time, that take up your energy, that take up your attention, your whatever, because they want to call, they want to text, they want to hang, they want to do stuff. For me right now, it's about telling those folks, look, and I used to do this in college. When I used to go back to college at the end of August, I would tell my friends, all right, look, I'll see you in December. I'll see you at Christmas break, because I can't do all these things. Like, I can't hang and go out and party and do whatever you guys are doing at the same time as really trying to work on this. It is about getting very clear on what you want your outcome to be. It's about getting very clear on what you want to be good at, and then pushing everything else out of there. And then really looking at your schedule, right? You have 24 hours in a day, just like everyone else, and allocating that time and managing that time in such a way that you are going to win with it. And so we, like, that's the reason that I get up, especially during school years, like so early in the morning, and I exercise and I meditate and I read, because I know that if I wait till later, it's not going to happen. I know that I plan in time to actually hang with my kids. I take breaks I try to. This is really hard for me. I try and work 50 minutes at a time and then take a 10-minute break, which a lot of times I don't do, because I get, you get in that flow state and then you just don't want to stop. My meals come at certain times, so that I'm like making sure that I'm not starving to death and then I'm like, screw it, just eat a cheesesteak. It's like, nope, I am eating like eggs and kimchi, or doing a smoothie, or eating a salad, or now I'm going to start drinking this protein crap. Like, it's those things are locked in, because what I want to do is be as regimented as possible. Because as Jocko Willink says, discipline equals freedom. Meaning, like, when you are that disciplined, when you have all these things, it seems like your life is like locked in and it's boring because there's no room for spontaneity. But in reality, what you're doing is removing the option for other choices. I don't wake up in the morning and wonder if I'm going to run or bike or exercise or meditate or pray, because it's already set up, because that's already what I do. The clothes are out when I'm going to exercise. The couch is ready for when I'm going to sit down and meditate. The headphones are already there. I don't have to find them. I don't have to wonder if the Bluetooth ones are charged. I don't have to pull up the app on my phone. It's already ready. It's having those things in such a way that I really, really maximize my time, especially during the school year. In the summer, I'm way more lax. I've been sleeping till 9 o'clock since June, right? I haven't slept till 9 o'clock in forever, but I've been spending a lot more time later at night with my family, and then sleeping earlier during the day or later into the day and doing stuff like that. So that's how I do it. Listen, there's a lot of other great questions on here. But because I had dental surgery, I really want to stop talking right now, and I go back to school tomorrow, so I'm trying to maximize that time too. Listen, gang, if you need help, please show up next week, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I really hope that your week is the greatest week ever, and if you know anyone that needs any help, please bring them along with you. Or if you know someone in college, or you're a professor, or you just think that they should watch this, this is a great place to get connected. And that's it, gang. I love you, and I will talk to you next week. Peace. Yeah, I said I love you, because I do.